With Malaysian ringgit depreciating against the US dollar ever since forever, I guess it's only timely for me to make this video to show you the 5 different ways you can turn your ringgit into the US dollar. I personally have more than 50% of my net worth kept in US dollar, so maybe, just maybe, I know a little bit more about getting my hands onto US dollar right here from Malaysia. And spoilers alert, the last method over here is the best one, because why not keep the best for the last, right? So firstly, other than converting through a physical money exchanger and then just keeping cold hard US dollar cash under your pillow, you can actually store them in a foreign currency fixed deposit FCFD account. And it works just like your usual fixed deposits. You can buy and then keep the foreign currencies with the banks in Malaysia, and then later on choose to sell or renew the fixed deposit when it matures, anywhere ranging from 1 month all the way up to 1 year. If the exchange rate when you sell is higher than the buying rate, for example, you buy at 4.6 ringgit and then you sell later at 4.8 ringgit for 1 US dollar, you will then earn the difference, and that appreciation of 20 cents is your profit. And on top of that, you can earn interest just like other regular FDs, where the interest rate for US dollar ones are currently hovering around 5%, and that's actually higher than the conventional ringgit FDs we have out there right now. And yes, buying FCFD is also protected by PIDM for up to 250,000 ringgit, just like your usual Malaysian savings account. So this is by far one of the lowest risk methods that you can consider keeping US dollar. I mean, you can just simply walk into any bank, hit the counter and get your FCFD account open for you. It's that simple. However, there are 2 negatives that you need to know about these FDs. Firstly, they usually have significantly higher spread, which means when you buy or sell the foreign currency, say US dollar, you are actually losing over 1 or even more than 2% each way, which actually makes your effective yield become somewhere around 2 to 3%. You know, 5% minus 2%. And then number 2, as we all know, FDs in general has a lock-in period, which means you might not have access to your money if you ever so need them during this period. So if you want to be able to withdraw your money anytime you want, and you don't really like the idea of going to the bank so often just to withdraw, then I have the next option for you right here. The multi-currency accounts, which are also provided by local banks in Malaysia. It is somewhat like your normal daily banking accounts, and some even come with debit cards for your spending when you are, say, overseas. For example, the RHB multi-currency debit card, which is frequently mentioned by the Laureate forumers. And these accounts were made for those who are earning, paying, or just transacting in foreign currencies like US dollar, or just simply looking to keep short-term cash in US dollar. And as its name multi-currency account suggests, you can also store more than just one currency, and then can also convert from one currency to another via online. There are some other popular and also frequently mentioned multi-currency accounts, such as the HSBC Everyday Global accounts and also the Maybank Master Foreign Currency accounts, so definitely check them out if you're interested. Or you know, if you want me to do the research for you, then let me know in the comments down below and I might just do a comparison for Malaysia's multi-currency account for you. But as always, anything offered by banks will always come with some catch, and this is no exception to these multi-currency accounts. Let's take the Maybank Master Foreign Currency accounts as an example. The minimum deposit is 1,000 US dollar, which is more than 4,700 ringgit as of today, with a transaction charge of 4 US dollar, which is about 19 ringgit for each transaction. And that is on top of the lackluster exchange rate spread, which you might lose a further 1 to 2% or even more. So all in all, you will easily be paying up to the 100 ringgit mark in fees if you are transacting, say, around 5,000 ringgit or even more. And even if you deposit money in HSBC Everyday Global accounts that looks like there's no charges up front, the same catch still applies. In general, most conventional banks' exchange rate already has a larger spread embedded into them, and you most likely won't be able to get the best rates out there. But then, who am I to judge, right? Feel free to share your experience with any of these multi-currency accounts that you have tried before, and I'm sure the audience here will be able to benefit from your sharing. So, high fees with bad exchange rates, do we have a better option? Well, yes, lucky for us in this digital age, because we have Wise, which offers low-cost international transfers, and also this card works as a multi-currency account. Wise provides a much better exchange rate as compared to the other banks. I mean, just look at this comparison by them. If I convert 5,000 ringgit, I will get a total of $1,051, a total savings of 100 ringgit for just this transaction. And the reason why they are able to provide such a good exchange rate is because they do not impose any hidden fees or any exchange markup embedded into them, unlike the other banks. However, to function as a company, Wise is a private company, so they still need to make money, right? So they do charge a transfer fee starting from 0.43% for each transaction, and you will be able to see them upfront even before you send them. And in my personal experience, that fee, which combines both variable and also fixed fees, can vary anywhere from 0.4% to 0.7% at most, just in case you are wondering. So with this Wise, you can easily send your money to over 70 currencies worldwide and hold over 40 currencies in your multi-currency account, including the US dollar, Malaysian ringgit, Sing dollar, Hong Kong dollar, and so many more. But as always, nothing is perfect. Wise has a relatively smaller maximum holding limit of 20,000 ringgit and a daily sending value of 30,000 ringgit. So this could be a problem for some of you that might want to send more than that amount in a single day. And yep, that's how you can store your US dollar in Malaysia. But if you want to look for a potential way to grow your money beyond that, you can also consider investing in US dollar or just any US dollar denominated assets. And just in case you are skeptical, investing lose money only lah, or you feel like it's a scam, that's because most of the time people are speculating and gambling instead of investing. To invest is to buy into a legitimate business, be their shareholder, and then grow through the thick and thin with the company. And over time, when the company grows, your share prices will also increase as well, and when you sell them, you get the capital gains. So if you ask what kind of business we should take part in, my take is, why not own the best out of the best around the world? And as a matter of fact, most of the top companies are in the US, if not China. Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Google, Meta, they are all well-known tech giants and are also an integral part of our daily lives. So to do that, you can invest in stocks or ETFs via a regulated and licensed online broker, just like Interactive Brokers, Momo, or M Plus Global by Malacca Securities. I personally have multiple accounts with these different brokers just to diversify my holding risk, and with Interactive Brokers being my main trading platform since they offer the cheapest fees in the industry. Plus, they come with fractional shares trading features, which means we can invest at any amount that we want or that we can afford. If you can't afford a full share of Tesla, just buy 0.1 shares of it or 0.05 shares of it. It's totally up to you, and affordability is now out of the equation. And not an investment advice, but if you are still young and have a higher risk appetite just like me, you'll probably prefer tech stocks like Apple or Tesla. But there are also a lot of quality stocks out there other than the tech companies. Bank stocks like Bank of America and JP Morgan Chase, consumer staple stocks like Walmart, Target, McDonald's, Starbucks, oil and gas companies like ExxonMobil, Chevron, they all are good options that you can definitely take a further look into. And you might think that you are too busy to do research and stock picking. If that's the case, then ETFs, short for exchange traded funds, may be more suitable for you. They are like a bundle deal of stocks. Instead of buying into one single company, you are buying into many at once. There are many types of ETFs out there. Some allow you to buy into certain industry like the oil and gas industry, semiconductor, Or if you like to zoom out just a little bit, there are also ETFs that can track the whole US economy, like the VOO and also the SPY ETF that tracks the US S&P 500 index. Or actually, if you're not sure about the future of the US economy, there are even world index ETFs that allows you to invest all around the world with just one single click of a button. Do check out this video where I compare various world index ETFs any starters should look at. But if you think US stocks are too risky for you, fair enough, you can instead look at US Treasuries, or in general people call them bonds. To put it simply, think of it like your conventional bank loan, but instead of you getting a loan from the bank where you owe the bank money, it's the other way around. The US government borrows money from you instead. I mean, just look at this 3-month treasury bill yield. It basically means if you lend $10,000 to Biden and his government for the next 3 months, starting 16th of October, they need to pay you a 5.34% annual interest. And when the 3 months ended, they will return you your full $10,000. So technically, you got your capital back on top of earning additional interest, and that is what we call the yield. And before you ask, the difference between you and the US government is the credit. To banks, you are a risky person. They don't know if you will suddenly go bankrupt or refuse to pay back the money and then default. So they have to add on a risk premium to cover up your risk, which is why they typically charge you a rather high interest rate for your loans, right? But on the flip side, the US government is different. It is the world's most powerful country, and unless the US government falls, which is honestly pretty unlikely, they will almost always repay the bond. So it's technically zero risk to borrow them your money, and that is what we call the risk-free rate. And due to the recent interest rate hike by the US Federal Reserve, the risk-free rate keeps increasing. And like I've mentioned earlier, at the moment you can get more than 5% annualized return with zero risk, well, almost zero risk, on top of the near zero currency exchange spread thanks to interactive brokers. Quite a deal, right? But of course, this is a simplified version of what the bonds are all about. For a more complete guide and how to buy US Treasuries and also bonds, feel free to check out my video right at the top right hand corner over here. So there you have it, 5 ways you can buy, hold or just invest in US dollar from Malaysia. Yes, there are also other ways to gain exposure to the US dollar, like peer-to-peer financing, unit trust, mutual funds, or investing in crypto-based tokens like USDT, Tether. But the thing is, they all mostly come with various other risks and hidden fees, which is not that beginner friendly, so I personally did not include them in my recommendation in this video. But wait up, don't just leave yet, let me show you this one last clip.
Nilai ringgit ini tidak bergantung kepada fundamentals. Pertumbuhan baik, pelaburan baik, inflasi turun, kadar pengangguran turun. Nilai ringgit turun. Dia tidak selari dengan economic policy atau position atau argument. Dia hanya kerana tindakan Fed Amerika Syarikat menaikkan kadar. Walaupun semalam dalam pertemuan saya dengan Gubernur Bank Negara, dia menganggap akhir tahun ini ke arah perkembangan yang lebih meyakinkan.
Do you really think that the current weakening of Malaysian ringgit against the US dollar is not because of the economic situation right here, and that it will head towards a more convincing direction? I don't buy into it. What about you? Let me know in the comments down below.